Hey guys, happy Saturday, early Saturday morning. The sun's not even up where I live. Um, and this is Rising Phoenix 1. Welcome to some NBA Live mobile gameplay. I just got a match after waiting about 10 minutes and grinding the current promo events while waiting. You can see that there's only today left. I'm not in the top 100. I'm superstar level 1. I still have level 2, level 3, and then to get to legend. And it's very unusual for me to be in this position, this low of a position, on the last day of a showdown season. The reason is pretty simple. There's two reasons, really. One is, just what's coming down according to EA, and I'm done talking about that. That's the subject of the last video I put up. If you want to know what it is, go watch that. Scroll through the two gameplays. They're pointless, and you can hear what I'm talking about. The other reason is that searches are just incredibly slow because the number of Showdown players is down because the incentive to play Showdown, which was to the Scottie Pippen card that you could level up with tokens you win from Showdown, it's an irrelevant card at this point. When they jumped up to 200 tokens required to get them up to, I think, an 87, and now to get them up to an 88, it's going to be 250 tokens, and that's going to take a couple more weeks. And so at an 87 strategic small forward, that card is irrelevant, and we weren't able to level it up fast enough because the team put requirements in that were kind of unrealistic. But that was put at the beginning of the season, and they can always alter that. Hint, hint. All right, we got to play Big Man Tyrone 69. That's a great name. And an interesting avatar that doesn't exactly fit with the name, but that's cool. So let's see how we can do here. We're playing with our finesse lineup that has the crazy 3-point stats of plus 22 per outside shooting stat. So, for instance, Curry is going to be a 115 3-point shooter. This is the 110 boost to outside shooting. And I need to, and Harden's going to be a 119. I don't have time to show it, or we're going to run out of time and forfeit. Been having trouble with anything in the 80s. I think that's the reverse OVR Nerf. Anything in the 90s has been a simple, like 21-2 or 24-4 Harden. And I forgot to pay attention, but I think he's using a finesse coach, so I have to. Come on, man. EA, we are so tired of that animation. Faster than a speeding bullet. You knock the ball away, and the center comes in and swoops it up. Wide open for three. This Harden card is still very, very good. All right, Jokic can shoot, but this is what happens when I get I get a team in the 80s. So yeah, we're clearly playing a finesse style coach because Jokic was out there guarding the corner. And we didn't get him off. Whoa. Yeah, that's a double entendre. What I meant is we didn't we didn't get him off the corner. Let's see if he'll back up now. Yes, he will. And Harden hits it. Where you going, Jokic? Where you going? Whoa. Yeah, because the AI is pretty much just hitting everything Jokic backed up enough for that to go in, but it doesn't. But thank goodness, Giannis gets the rebound and puts it back. Uh, I've spent some time trying out Drummond. That was a good double team. I have a tendency to try to lay off the controls so we don't knock it out of bounds, but the AI does it anyway. And the key is to get on the sprint and force them like that, and you can actually force them out of bounds. But I got this like reflex reaction where I try to do something else, which is to avoid hitting the ball, because we're not going to get it. It's just going to either be a defensive foul or it's going to knock it out of bounds. Well, evidently Jokic is the best rebounder in the game. Bye-bye, Jokic. I love it when they turn around and run away. And you know what? The card thinks that you're going to drive, so the card is just going back to get position. So that's why it looks that way. See, you give me something in the 90s and it'll be a blowout. You give me one of these and boom. I'm tired of shooting threes against 7-foot centers. That'll go in. Oh no! Hallelujah. All right, that ought to be enough to win, but again, we just gave up 10 points. The thing is, like, if it's a team between, say, an 86 and an 89 OVR, I find it almost impossible to get steals, and they hit a lot more shots. If it's a 92 to a 96 OVR, I'll win by bigger margins, and I'll get largely because of steals, and they're not making everything. So that's what we refer to as the reverse OVR Nerf. And we won, but he did really well for as low an OVR as he was compared to my 96. So shout out to big man Tyrone 69. So let's explain where I believe the reverse OVR Nerf came from. And I'll start a search. We may or may not be able to do anything with that. So the reverse OVR Nerf is this. So there used to be a bigger percentage advantage to your team if you were a higher OVR than the team you were playing. In August of season 3, which overall was a pretty good season, early August, what happened was, it's called dynamic difficulty adjustment, but AI jacked up the performance. EA jacked up the performance of the AI, the opponent you're playing. And it was evident. I mean, it was night and day. Not long after that, within 2 weeks, one of the development team guys announced that they were going to reduce the percentage advantage you had by having a higher OVR versus a lower OVR. And he said that they were going to do that by just changing one of the defensive parameters. And I don't know what that defensive parameter was, but when they did that, it was sort of a synergistic effect between jerking up the performance of the opponent's AI and then reducing the advantage by changing something in one of the defensive parameters, and all of a sudden, pretty much all hell broke loose. So you have what we started to call, at least what I started to call, and others now call it, the reverse OVR Nerf. So in other words, if God help us if you're 7 up OVR on your opponent, because there's a very good chance that guy's opponent or that guy's AI is going to score a bunch of points. Now, I don't know whether the defensive parameter they changed had to do with my manual defense or the defense that the AI plays. You see how long the search is going? But the cumulative effect of what they did just totally changed gameplay. It totally changed it. And they've been unable to undo it, which is weird because, all they would have to do, it would seem, is to undo what they did. Wasn't that long ago. So, yeah, that's one of the big problems with gameplay. And so what that ushered in was, centers with the lowest rating 3-point shot in the game burying threes. It made it harder to get steals, number one, and number two, when you did swipe the ball away, and we just saw it in that last time, more often than not, the center comes swooping in out of nowhere, like Superman, and picks up the ball. The AI has a tendency to make more shots, and it's just not as good a gameplay experience. Now, they tried to fix it in Season 4 or to do something with it. So first they issued an app update, and that, it completely nerfed the AI. At first it was fun because literally your opponent's AI could not make a shot. They missed everything, So, you're putting up 30-0 in Showdown and massive scores in League versus League. And that was fun for a couple days, and then it was like, all right, this is not even challenging. So about a week later, they issued another app update, and part of that was supposed to be also to get rid of the centers and the power forwards just burying threes from 30 feet. So it fixed the AI being unable to hit a shot, but it just messed up everything else. And so we pretty much went back to difficulty getting rebounds, blocking shot after shot after shot, but they get all the loose balls, swiping the steals, and they get most of the loose balls before your guy can pick it up. So those have been the main issues, and we're back to the reverse OVR Nerf. Now, the reverse OVR Nerf doesn't mean that every time you play a lower OVR that you're going to have a difficult time. It does mean, however, that a meaningful percentage of the time that happens, which is not something that happened before. So, yeah, EA, why is the search going on so long? It's not because a lot of people are playing. You have your top ranked people who are there just because they're playing nonstop. But these numbers aren't so big, and my numbers are low. Oh shoot, I was just about to end this video when we matched. So all right, 91, that's better than an 88. Go figure. It may or may not play out this time, and he's got the Kerr coach, so I'm going to have to deal with friggin' Yao Ming guarding the far corner, shooting with Harden, Curry, and Durant. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'm not used to playing with Curry as much. I use Penny Hardaway, because you get Penny Hardaway boosted up to about a 100 3-point shot, and he's a fairly reliable 3-point shooter. Plus, he's a better stealer than Curry is, or at least a better swiper. Whether they get the steal or not is another question. Now, Yao backed up far enough, and that was an open shot, and Harden missed it. So, and that goes in. So, here's our 5-point OVR advantage. So much for that, right? Go away, Yao. All right. It's very unusual for Harden to miss the first shot, especially an open shot. Oh, that's going in. Whoa! Hallelujah. I think that would have gone in if it had been an 88 I was playing. 100% of the time, but again, it's like we're it's like Alice in the Looking Glass, curiouser and curiouser. Nothing makes sense. It doesn't make any sense at all that you have a more difficult time against a team that is 8 OVRs below you rather than a team that is a couple OVRs below you, right? That doesn't make sense. Oh no, he froze. KD hits it. If you sprint to that corner, Yao is going to back up. Or any center there is going to. All right, let's go down here so we just deal with Giannis. So see, already we're 53 seconds to go and a higher OVR, and I've only given up 2 points. Wow, can't block that. Versus that other dude can block that. Who was what, an 88 or an 86 or something like that. I'm not saying 2 gameplays prove anything, but I am saying this anecdotal experience is consistent with my long-term experience, which would, if anybody wanted to ever do a statistical analysis, I've played enough that I could probably get a statistically valid result, right, with a low standard deviation. Big words. Sorry. All right. I haven't really gotten any steals. They're just, you gave that one to him, Tom. Oh, man. Bro. Harden wide open, buries the final shot. So, yeah, easier time against a 91, than the other guy who was like, I don't know what he was. He was an 88 or an 86 or whatever. Again, 2 gameplays don't prove anything, but, there you have it. So, the thing that EA is talking about doing, that is kind of taken the thrill out of the game. The thrill is gone. It hasn't happened yet, but there's been no announcement to the contrary, so we have to assume it is going to happen. Just a question of when. Maybe they figure if they wait a few days, we'll calm down. Yeah, that's not going to happen. If it happens, it's the nuclear option, fellas. It's the nuclear option. I will say this one thing to the team. Whenever you perceive that there's a problem that you need to solve or any decision that you need to make, as a business, right? There should be a threshold question, the question you ask before anything else, and it is the dispositive question. The question is this: are we screwing our players? Better question: are we screwing our customers? And if the answer is yes, end of discussion. Find a different way to fix whatever it is you perceive as a problem. That's how good businesses operate. Are we screwing our customers? Um, well, yeah, this would be screwing our customers. End of discussion. Find a new way, right? Um, that's how really good businesses operate. And I'm not saying you don't ask yourself those questions, but sometimes you don't, and so it'd be good if you did. I still have a lot of optimism and hope for this current development team, and you know, I'm looking forward to what they can bring to the game experience. If they give me the opportunity to continue playing the game and don't do bad things. Bad. All right. This is a long one. Happy Saturday. Have a great weekend. Get outside, right? This crappy pandemic, the single best thing we are told that we can do is to get outside. And no, you don't need to wear a mask outside in the sunlight, despite what what anybody's told you. It's best not to go out and actually breathe the air. And you have continually circulating air outside, so you're pretty frickin' safe. All right. Peace out.